Jets fans, I am happy. I'm happy that you are here with me. Not that you're here as a life choice, but since you've chosen, I'm glad you're here with me and I don't have to be alone. Welcome to Green Bean's Jets Pod. I am Green Bean. I will tell you, we're going to talk a little bit about the game. We're going to talk a little bit about Breece Hall today. Breece Hall is going to be a large chunk. We're going to explore a couple things where Breece Hall is concerned. One of many of our, I think I could safely say, a lot of our favorite, among our favorite Jets, right? He was a part of that vaunted 92 draft or 2022 draft class. What did we do in 92? I got to look that up and see. What was our draft class in 1992? I was watching. Let's see. I got to take a guess. 92. Brett, that was 91. I remember 94 was Aaron Glenn. 92 is Marvin Jones. Let me see something. I can't do it. I can't do it. I got to do it. Marvin Jones or Browning Nagel. I'm going one. I'm flip-flopping. I was watching. You guys know it. I was out there, man. You guys know it's funny. I was at we talked all about it the last few weeks. As you guys may know, I just got home. That's why I didn't do the game stream for this week. It broke my heart to do it. To not do it, I should say, is a more appropriate way to say it. We were at Matt O'Leary's wedding last night or 2 nights ago when you're watching this, but Saturday night we went to Matt O'Leary's wedding, and it's quite the hike for me. It was such a great time, and the table I was at. Imagine this table, just so you can get an idea here. It was Ryan, Jets Talk 24/7, and his amazing wife Becca. It was me, Green Bean, and my amazing wife, Merrill. It was Jeremy, Jake Asman, and Richie with his very, very cool girlfriend, Bella. So it was like this amazing. I mean, there was lots of dancing. I'm going to tell you something. I don't dance. I'm not a dancer. I always got to make a cake. My wife loves to dance. And I'm not a dancer, so I'll dance as much as she wants to dance. You know what I mean? I'll just, that's what I try to do. Because I'm old and fucking, you know what it is, guys? I can't do anything like halfy, So like if I dance, I got to get weird. I got to like dance. And once I do that, I feel like I'm an idiot. Or so I just try to, who's a good dancer? Ryan. Ryan's a good dancer. I don't know if you guys know that. So I had to drive back from that. So it was just it was late night, and I was going to stay up in Staten Island. My goddaughter, Annabelle Manari, their team won their Super Bowl, and she got Super Bowl MVP. Can you imagine? And I didn't stay. I left early this morning so I could get home. It was just I'm dragging ass. I got it. Dude, this is how good I am. You see what I'm saying? You guys have questions. Now, there are better guys for certain things. I never claimed to be a offensive schematics kind of. It's just not I don't see the geometry of it. Like the forethought of developing. I mean, I can do it, but as far as being good at it, like developing a game plan and the whole thing, I get it conceptually, and I can definitely bitch about it with confidence. But that's not my forte. There are guys that break guys down, the Blewitts, the Dom C's of the world, right? Like they can break guys down. So it's just not a skill set that I have refined. But let me tell you something. You want to talk about all the bullshit that's ever happened to Jets fans? I am your guy. I've been paying attention. This is why I brought this up. So when we were at the wedding, Jake and I were talking. We're talking Jets. We're talking everything. But we did a lot of Jets talk. Obviously, Richie, Jake, Jeremy, Ryan, me. Of course, we're gonna talk Jets. We were talking about like how long we've been like on the internet, like obsessing about the Jets. And here's the truth: I worked for AT&T, right? So my position at AT&T, I was at AT&T for like 6 years, whatever it was. My position was like I was in the freight department for this massive building. There was like 2,000 people on one floor. And it was like, I think there was 4,000 people in the whole building. And then the complex, there was like 6,500. So all the freight that came in, I was a part of that. And then I would do these mail runs once in the morning, once at night, once in the afternoon. So what I was saying is this: the whole time I worked at AT&T, I would come in the morning. I would do the stuff would come in. We'd have to wait for the freight to be delivered. So the first couple hours, whatever, I would do a little mail run. I'd deliver some papers to the executives. And then I had like 3 hours, and then it was lunchtime. Then I had to do another freight thing for 20 minutes. Then I had to do mail run. Like all in all, my job actually took 2 hours of my 8-hour day. You know what I was doing the other 6 hours for 6 years? I was literally online talking about the New York Jets with guys like CT Jets fan and Matthias Simon and all those guys. We were on Jets message boards. YouTube didn't exist. Twitter didn't exist. And I remember, like, I found out about the Jets going for Bill Parcells and the whole thing with when Bill Belichick was our head coach for a minute there before Bill could come and the whole thing. And he hired the whole staff of the Patriots. I found that out on message board. I've been on the message board since like 1996, 95, 90, something like that. It's crazy town. So, before it's so easy now, you get into an argument with somebody and you go, hey man, I don't think so, blah, blah, blah. And anybody can argue and they're looking up stats on their phone like they know something. And I come from an era when you had guys who knew stuff. So I have this mechanism in my brain, like I pay attention to learn so I can be the guy who knows things about this. You had your guy who knew all the history of rock and roll, and you had your mechanic guy, and you had all these guys, and you had a crew, and everybody had their strong suit. You know what I mean? Now anybody can do anything. Everybody, oh yeah, well actually you got 400 yards in 1996. You can do all that shit and pretend you know something. It's easy nowadays. But if you ever want to know the backstory of what's going on, talk to me. So I said 1992, Marvin Jones. That's our guy, 1990. So anyway, Breece Hall, 2022, not 1992. And look, we're already chipping away at that thing, right? We had Sauce Gardner traded. Garrett Wilson, there was rumors asking for a trade, all that kind of stuff last offseason. Jermaine Johnson was in trade rumors this before the deadline this season, and then Breece Hall was out front. The idea that he didn't get traded is kind of amazing. So we'll talk a lot about Breece Hall because he's a part of this idea that we had, this big old-fashioned shot of hopium that we took at the bar. We got a big old-fashioned shot of hopium, and Breece and Garrett and Sauce and Quinnen and Jermaine, and these guys they were dead smack in the middle of this dream. And now it's a weird week for Breece. It's been a weird few weeks, but this week in particular, we're talking about him. What about Aaron Glenn? What about the way that the Jets are? What about this idea of tanking or not tanking? Or dude, you watched the game. So I'm driving home today from Long Island, Smithtown, Long Island, to Charlottesville, Virginia. And I'm driving through Baltimore at 12:30. 12:40, and I'm looking at the stadium that the Jets are about to be playing in. I'm driving south on what road that is, 495 or whatever. And the game starts, And I'm watching my New York Jets. First of all, we got a new quarterback now again, right? We got the old Tyrod Taylor experiment. And you got we got these new receivers. You got you look at it. At one time, it's like you look at our offense, and I'm watching Tyrod Taylor with Isaiah Davis to his right, John Mechie, and A.D. Mitchell on the outside. And it's like you just take a step back for a moment and you go, what the fuck happened? What happened to these? Where are we? What the hell is going on? I don't even know these guys. No, we know the deal. We're paying attention. But you think about like the casual fan, somebody who loves the team, suffers like us, but doesn't spend their entire life on YouTube videos and all that kind of stuff, right? They just turn around. Last week, Justin Fields is just starting, or maybe you go a couple weeks ago. They know we got Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, and they turn around and they look and they're like, wait a minute, Tyrod Taylor just threw a pass to Mechie, number 3. Isn't that Pat Leahy? You know what I mean? That kind of a thing. Elijah Moore or whatever, or he was, I forget, 8. But you know what I mean? And then you look on defense, and boy, oh boy, man, you got, Briggs and Phillips with Tyler Barron. And then you got, Isaiah Oliver's running around with Malachi Moore and A.Z. Thomas. And, it's like, where did we go wrong? Now, once you're obsessive, like a lot of us are, you follow the pathway and you're tracking the whole thing, and it makes sense, and you get it, and you can even find it in yourself to get a little excited. You know what I mean? You can even find it in yourself. Like you go, okay, well, look, we're not going to the Super Bowl this year. That's unlikely. Right? It's probably not going to happen. Right? We could say that. But I really do want to see guys like A.D. Mitchell. As you know, A.D. Mitchell was a throw-in in the Sauce Gardner trade. The A.D. Mitchell was a second-round pick, a somewhat ballyhooed second-round pick in the 2024 draft. So he was pick 52 in the 2024 draft, man. Like that's premium. We're in premium Pickville. Who's taking? Let's see the next wide receiver taken. Malachi Corley. Ain't that funny? Look at that. That's funny. I didn't even know that. So Adonai Mitchell was, or AD as we call him, was the second round, and Malachi Corley was the first pick of the third round. We traded up to make sure that we locked in Malachi Corley. Once he made it through that second round, we weren't taking any more risks. We had to have our guy. So you look at him, he's this, he's second pick 52. And he's young as hell. And he's had his moments already. It's a young career. And you want to look at him. You look at John Mechie. John Mechie. Or is it John? Am I saying it wrong? So John Mechie was pick 44 of this, the 2022 draft. So right after Breece Hall, just a couple picks later, you got John Mechie. And it is John. Isn't that nice? Throw-in, I think maybe a little bit less of a throw-in. Mazzie Smith was definitely a throw-in for the Quinnen Williams trade. We don't know what's going to go on with that guy. But you look at the team, man, and it's quite literally an entirely different team. Of course, there are names that you're familiar with. Olu Fashanu, our rookie our offensive left tackle last year, he's still there. Joe Tippmann, albeit from center to guard, is still there. Jonathan Simpson, our left guard, is still there. So they're there. The running back crew is there. Sad Braylon Allen got injured, and we haven't seen him. But by and large, I mean, again, there's some guys. It's a flip team on the op. Look at the defense. Holy macaroni. I mean, the whole team is flipped. I mean, we got guys that were here and already gone. All over the place. Special teams as well. So it's an interesting process that we're going through right now, which is watching this team, and you want to see what? What are you hoping to see as a fan? You want to see wins? Is that where you are? You want to see wins? Do you want to see Aaron Glenn? We're still evaluating our coach. I mean, he's not getting fired this year or anything like that. I don't think we have to worry about that necessarily. Like, we don't have to worry about that. He's not getting fired. Him and Mooj are going to be here next year. You don't let them, although the Johnsons have done weirder things, letting Mike McCagnon draft and spend all the money and then firing him, that whole thing. So there is precedent to letting them do all this stuff to the roster, but I don't see it. I don't think it's going to happen. They're going to be here next year, but I still think we are evaluating these guys. We're trying to see from a fan perspective and a player buy-in perspective, who are these guys? Who are we rooting for here? So you want to maybe see that, or maybe you're just straight up on Team Tank and associated with Team Tank. Maybe there's even a little connective tissue between Team Tank, your desire to see them lose out so you can get the number one pick. Maybe there's a little something that if we lose out rough enough, like the last 5 games are just totally piss poor, the team phones it in, maybe, just maybe, we can get rid of Aaron Glenn and get somebody else in here. Maybe you want to see, the Cliff Kingsburys of the world, or maybe you want Brian Dable to get a shot. I don't know. Mike McCarthy. I mean, I don't know. So, what are we looking at here? And we have to decide that, so to speak. You can change your mind anytime you want, of course. But as far as our fandom, it's getting tougher and tougher, because let me tell you, we were driving home today, like I told you, during this game. We were driving home during the game. I'm watching the game in the car. I would have done the live stream, but I've done it before. It's like that exact trip, and it just ebbs and flows with the internet, man. I just didn't want to take you guys through it. But watching this game, and let me tell you, my wife is from Baltimore, so she's a Ravens fan. She arrived to the scene, to the relationship, as a Baltimore Ravens fan. And you know what I caught her doing? When the Jets scored a touchdown, she went, I said, "You're a Jets fan. You are." She's, how do you hang out with me and my son and my daughter now and not, some of it stick to you? But so my point is that you got the Jets playing the Ravens. We're in a car. We're driving through Baltimore. And the Jets are playing, my team's playing her team, and the whole thing. And it was boring. Wasn't it? That first half, it was just this boring game. So you got to figure out what you're going to root for here, because I'm going to tell you, man, it's getting tougher and tougher to do. And how many rebuilds? And it's why we're so upset with Aaron Glenn. It's why we jumped off with our hatchets and our pitchforks, so to speak. It's why we kind of attacked him so quickly when it was like game 3, game 2, really. As soon as we got killed by Buffalo, it was like a lot of the fan base was really, harsh. So why is that? Because we're so beat up. We're so tired that this is getting harder and harder to do. It's getting harder. In years past, the Jets would suck for a period of time, but they give you that 1-2 year stretch where you can be like proud and get invigorated and root and be competitive and talk some smack with your with your other fans, your friends of other fans of other teams. We haven't been able to do, and we've been embarrassingly bad since 2015. Embarrassingly bad. So Aaron Glenn, he's talking about the team fighting, and I think that's accurate. Aaron Glenn's talking about the refs and the calls and all that. He's walking a fine line. He's walking it back. He wants to say more, but he's catching himself. But I think it's getting harder and harder, even for a guy like Aaron Glenn, who just got here, to have to kind of put up the narrative. Like, you just want to walk back into the locker room and be like, all right, man, like, I don't want to have to go explain this. Because the truth is, the Jets took that lead first. You held the Ravens to 70-something yards in the entire first half. And you can say it. You can say, the Ravens weren't playing their game. They look off. Okay, fine. But you said that about the Patriots. You're saying it about all these teams. The Jets are fighting. Now, they might not have the horses. I'm not saying they're as talented or as well coached. They're clearly not as established as a team like the Ravens, right? That's without question. But they're fighting. And even though it was boring, the game, until the end, there's some stuff started to happen. The Jets were right on the precipice of making it a 3-point game with 7 minutes left, and they had the momentum. The defense was playing the Ravens well. That flip, right? So it's like you can really zero in on this stuff, and you can find some positives, but there's a lot of time left. What we want to do, you guys saw it last week. Their mock drafts are popping up. Mock drafts are popping up, man. We want to go. We understand. We got to finish. We know the deal. But we're about done. We want to go into the offseason. You want to just kind of let the Super Bowl come and go, and you want to start focusing on draft picks and where are we going to land? That's kind of where it is. Because the more, the juicier conversation is where, if we have 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. Our first-round pick, our second-round pick. Then you got the first from the Colts and the second from the Cowboys. So where are they going to land, right? The Colts look damn good. They're just ruining everything. But where are we going to be? Where are we going to be? Are we going to be are we going to do what we do every year, which is you look like you're 1 or 2, 3, and then at the end of the year, you pull together a couple meaningless victories, and we're 5, 10, 7, 11. What are we going to do that? Is that what we're going to do? Or is Aaron Glenn aware of this? He's never going to coach to lose. I'm not even suggesting that. They're not going to do that. The players are, these are young guys now. These guys are playing for their jobs. These guys are trying to make a statement. This is their opportunity. They're not going to try to tank because we're tired. That ain't happening. But is he aware enough that when it's time to make a decision, well, maybe he's a little bit less or does the thing, you know what I mean? Well, however, and whatever that means, does he impact it in some way, knowing full well, if I win this game, we get to the point. Right now I'm at pick 2. If I have to trade up, like I'm guaranteed one of the quarterbacks I like, whether it's Mendoza, whether it's Simpson, whether it's Moore if he comes out, whether it's Mezvitz, Mendoza, whatever the fuck his name is, the kid from Duke. You know what I mean? One of these, the landscape's going to change, and we're going to fall deeper in love with these guys, right? But if you're at pick 1 or 2, that's a whole different ball game than if you're at 5. If you're at pick 5, the likelihood that you're going to have to fight to get one of those quarterbacks, you don't think the Giants are just going to stand there and just neglect to take advantage of the opportunity that they could slide back 2, 3, 4 spots, whatever it might be, and change their franchise, get another first, second, so all that kind of stuff, and still likely get the player they want anyway? So other teams are going to be calling, whether it's the Browns, whether it's the Raiders, whether it's the Saints, and on and on. Although Shador, who knows, right? Tyler Shock, hey, all right, okay, that'd be great. But if you're sitting at pick 1 or 2, you got 2 games left, maybe 1, let's call. If I win this game, I'm likely to go to pick 5 or 6. If I lose this game, I'm guaranteed to be no further down the draft board than pick 2. You know the difference. Pick 6, pick 5, pick 6. You got to use either these seconds, maybe the other first, maybe one of next year's first, whatever it is. You got to lose some of the capital. Now, if you got to do it, you got to do it. But is it worth it? That's the whole thing. Now, maybe we're just not good enough and we're going to lose anyway. Just like this week against the Ravens. Just like that. Maybe that's what it is. You just, look, you bring them. Well, I'm not too worried about it because we're going to evaluate the living hell out of these guys, and they're going to lose anyway. We're trying, but we don't have it. Tyrod Taylor, he threw for 222 yards, a pick, and a touchdown today. I mean, look, we're talking about going from quarterback play that, we're struggling to break 100 yards, numerous games under 50 yards. The one, what was it, Cincinnati or Cleveland, one or the other, when he had 50, Justin Fields had thrown for 54 yards, but 42 of them were one screen pass to Breece Hall. So in other words, 12 yards. So Tyrod Taylor coming in and throwing for 222 or whatever it is. That's nice. It's fun. Guess what? 10 points. 10 points. So we got to make that decision as fans, because that's all we can control. We got to make the decision. Are we done? Are we tanking? Now, I'll tell you right now, for today, where I am, I'm riding. I'm just riding. I told you guys, I bought my ticket for the Aaron Glenn train. I'm on it. I'm in. Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn have done things in the way that I have hoped the Jets would do things. I'm not delighted with every single thing that's gone on by a long stretch. Trust me. But I like the things that a lot of people are complaining about. I find it's refreshing to me. It's refreshing. Robert Saleh, I tried to like him. I didn't love the hire. I was, of course, and he had his moments, and I tried really hard. Todd Bowles, too. I did not like the hire of Todd Bowles. But when we was 2015 and we were doing I was like, all right, maybe I'm wrong. I'm all about being wrong. And then later you saw the stuff. Adam Gase, nobody liked. You know what I mean? So I've been really unhappy for a long time. Still trying to root for these guys and support you guys. I try to be positive. But with Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji, I'm liking the way that it's being done. I like it. It seems a little bit more aggressive, fearless, those kinds of things. Repercussions galore. I love it. And the guys look like they're fighting, so I'm in. But what does that mean? We're gonna have to watch this. So the Jets next week, we got the Falcons. So we got the Falcons, the Dolphins, the Jaguars, the Saints, the Pats, the Bills. 6 more weeks, 6 games to hold this line, or you win them all and you get an 8-win season and you eclipse the highest record we've had since 2015. Wouldn't that be a nice way to close the season? Is it worth losing your draft position? And you can still do the trade-up thing if you want, whatever. Is it worth it? Imagine you come out, you beat the Falcons, you beat the Dolphins at home. You scrape one together against the Jaguars. The Saints are whatever. They're, they settle down and you beat them up. And then the Pats and Bills, you played them, but you didn't play the Bills tough. But the Bills are beat up. Who knows? And they're maybe resting starters or something. Would you be happy if the Jets turn it around and go on a 6-game win streak? Unlikely. But if it happens, they go on a 6-game win streak and they end up with 8 wins. They're even in the playoff discussion because you never know. You know what I mean? In the hunt. On the outside looking in. That kind of thing. Are you happy? Or are you miserable that we completely and utterly destroyed the tank and really could have very well pushed a quarterback in this year's draft way out of the conversation? Like maybe you can get, if you have 8 wins and you're sitting at pick, I don't know, 16, you're going to try to get up to number 1. That's going to be expensive. So far, Muji's been relatively smooth, shrewd. Who knows? Maybe he pulls it together. Maybe he throws in a player or two. Next year's, one of next year's firsts and a player and a third. Who knows? I don't know. But is it worth it? That's my question. Hey, let me know in the comments what you think. Is it the Jets went on a 6-game win streak? Is it worth it to kind of literally first year the tumult of this season, the crazy negative shit we've gone through this season? Is it worth it if they end this season on a 6-game win streak, man? And you know what you got in Mason Taylor, Adonai Mitchell, maybe Mechie, the O-line looks good. Maybe A.Z. Thomas settles down. You know what I mean? And you kind of see some, I don't know, is it worth it? Let me know. So let's talk a little bit of Breece Hall. We're going to get into, Breece had an interesting week, and he capped it in an interesting way. And for that, let's get into this week's Intelligent Gripe. Oh, welcome to the other side of the Intelligent Gripe. We're going to talk a little bit about Breece Hall. There were some numbers. There's some things we got to look at. Before we do, I want to remind you about the sponsor of the video, the amazing Sleeper app. You think you know football? Well, take that knowledge and turn game day into payday. All you do, you go to the app. As soon as you download it, the first thing you're going to see is, would you like to take advantage of this promotional offer to get $20 entry fee, no deposit required? You say yes. And then you can use that to do what they do, which is you go to the NFL. We're football people. We'll talk about NFL. You pick the game. You pick the player. They show you all the prompts. You pick which one you like. The player says, hey, we're predicting that Breece Hall gets 50 yards. You say more or less. You do a bunch of those. The more you do, the better the odds, right? The increased odds. You can win up to 1,000 times your money. Once you know the lay of the land, once you like it, go ahead and use the promo code GreenBean to get yourself a match, a deposit match up to $100 on your deposit. I want to show you guys my picks though for this week. So I did a little fun. I had a little fun with Monday Night Football. So look, Christian McCaffrey, it says 0.5 anytime touchdown. I'm saying he's doing more than that. Brock Purdy, 1.5 passing touchdowns. He's not going to do it. He's going to do 1 touchdown himself, and then we'll watch. So that was a little bit rough for me. I went back and forth on that one. But Ted McMillan, 66.5 receiving yards. I'm in. Chose him to go more, and that's how it goes. You submit the entry, watch the game, see if I'm right. If I'm right, I can double, triple, 100 times, 1,000x my money. Again, Sleeper app. Link is in the description of the video. Use the promo code GreenBean to take advantage of that offer. Terms and conditions apply. And I thank Sleeper for hanging out with us. But Breece Hall, man, he's a guy. Now, look, we all thought he was going to get traded, right? Is that a fair assessment? We all thought he was going to get traded. And there was even reports that the value of Breece Hall is a 5th-round pick. Then we didn't end up trading. You heard the Jets were holding firm at a 3rd-round pick, and then we're all delighted that we didn't trade him. He's pretty much been a workhorse since then. And I'm going to tell you, it's as clear as day that the more Breece Hall gets the ball, the better off the Jets offense is. You know, we had with Hackett, the whole thing where we didn't know he could be used as a pass catcher and blah. And it seems like they're just kind of realizing that now. The first chunk of the season, he got a lot more receptions than he has the last few weeks. But this game, 75 yards on the ground, almost had that touchdown, making moves all over the place. And you see it. You see the talent. You see the impact. The whole offense starts buzzing. The momentum starts shifting using Breece Hall. Problem is, this is the 2nd time this season he's fumbled. At a key moment, key moment, he was on the 2-yard line and about to go into the end zone. At minimum, it was a 1st down. We were getting 1st and goal on the 5, 4, 3, 2-yard line. And he fumbles. Now, it was a beautiful strip. The announcers waxed poetic about the technique of this guy's strip sacks and all that kind of stuff. Beautiful. Hey, victim, whatever. It happens. But it seems to happen to us. Don't forget, Braylon Allen also had that game where he fumbled on the 1 or 2 yard, 4-yard line or something. And it seems like that happens to us. But with Breece Hall started the week with that comment toward Jets media for kind of pestering Justin Fields. He's just been benched. They didn't make him available to the media. He's sitting by his locker. He's going to head into the sauna. And one of the beat reporters, Kaz, I think it was, grabs him and says, "Hey, how you feel about being benched?" That kind of a thing. And Breece stood up for his buddy. Like, dude, don't you see? Like, hey, can we have a human factor here? Like, leave him alone. You know how he feels. Now, here's the thing. The guy's press, he's in there. He's going to ask questions. So what he does, it's real simple. It's really simple. He's in there. He saw the shot. He took it. It's what they do. Don't make a big deal about it, and it'll just die. It is what it is. But on the other side of it, and I got to tell you, I kind of agree. It's like he's not made available. The Jets are trying to protect him. They're trying to, whatever they're doing. But he's not made available. And the guy, like, you just think about, if you take a second and think, I'm going to ask this question, what's best case? Like, what do you hope to achieve? You're just going to make the guy feel, it's just like, you're just kicking a guy. You're kicking him in his injured knee, so to speak. It's like, why? What answer you got? It's really great. He's going to give you an hour-long diatribe about what? I don't see it. I think it's not worth it. I think Breece Hall, I like the idea that Breece feels like stepping up in front of and defending a teammate. I like that. But the other side to that is this. Has Breece Hall kind of had it? Kind of had it. There was an interesting question brought up. Forgive me, I forget by who. At this point, I wish I did. I want to tell you, but they mentioned Breece Hall. Like, so if you're going to try to re-sign Breece Hall, of course you can franchise him. You can do if he wants to go somewhere, and you can franchise him and do the whole thing. But that can potentially be very, very contentious and negative, and just bad feelings and all that kind of stuff. You want to try to avoid that if you can. It's in our pocket. We got it. It's fine. But if you can avoid it, you can. Now, if you look at this, like, so let's say we're not able to draft a quarterback for whatever reason. We're at pick 8 because we win these games and everything. You got to look at it through the Breece Hall lens. You want to sign this guy. You want to keep him here. You want to keep the running back room together. You like the flow. He knows the offense. You know what I mean? Like, you like everything. Fumbles aside. He's gonna say, okay, well, what's the plan at quarterback? Because honestly, I'm tired of this place. Just like Quinnen Williams, he had a couple more years on me, sure. But man, since I've been here, we've had 7 quarterbacks. Even more. Garrett Wilson has played what? What is it, 11, 10? Breece played with those same guys. And you say, what's the plan? What are you going to tell them? Where you got Jets fans and some of these pundits talking about, hey, you get Gardner Minshew, or you get McKee. Now, if you say that to Breece Hall, is that exciting him? Oh, that sounds like it. And we're going to wait till 2027 and get our guy. We got 3 first-round picks and the whole thing, and we're going to beef up the whatever. We're going to sign this guy in the same way that we just did Justin Fields. And is that inspiring enough to keep a guy like Breece Hall if he's important to you keeping around? I got to tell you, probably not. So you got to look at things through that lens. We're also going to be hoping to court free agents. So Breece is now a free agent. You want to court him. You want to court other guys. We're talking about Linderbaum to bring him over, play next to Tippmann. Great. Had a penalty or two today or whatever, but that's all right. He's great. You bring in Linderbaum. Who's the quarterback? You're going to love this. Gardner Minshew. And then we're going to wait until some hypothetical fantasy year, and we're going to hopefully find a guy there. We feel real good about the class. We don't even know who's declared or whatever yet. But you know what I mean? So you have to think along those lines. Now, Breece Hall is fighting he thought he was going to be traded. We know he kind of pouted a little bit, but he's come out and he's been a certifiable badass since the trade deadline weeks, the couple weeks before, and even since. He's been the whole offense in many respects. This week, he has the big fumble. And you see Breece Hall, he walks over to the sideline. He was trying to do too much. And that's the thing. Like, you want him to put it on his shoulders. We got one real superstar kind of a guy, and he's just putting the team on his shoulders and getting us back in. And if he gets in the end zone, it's a 3-point game with 7 minutes left. We got the momentum. Our defense has been playing Baltimore tough all day. You know what I mean? And he's trying to do too much. You can beat him up now, but we like when players do that, when it works. We like it. So, again, fighting with the guy, the whole thing leads up the pouting, the no trade, and all the shit, defending Justin Fields. He's on the sideline. Aaron Glenn's got his arm around him. He's doing that whole thing. Don't worry about it. It happens to the best of us, whatever they're saying. And then Breece spent what looked like the rest of the game with a towel over his head, sitting on the sideline with a towel over his head. He's obviously disappointed. But where does that put this guy? We got 6 weeks left. Is Breece Hall going to ball out for those 6 weeks? He's even at minimum, he's auditioning, right? So this isn't good. He could be disappointed on that front. He was looking really good. He had 100 all-purpose yards, 100 and change, 75 or so through the air. He could have had a touchdown here. The whole thing. And now a little thing attached to it, which is a fumble. No good. So where do you stand on Breece Hall is the question. That's what we have to look at. And over these next couple weeks, he's way out front. Sure, Aaron Glenn, A.D. Mitchell, A.Z. Thomas, all the guys, Mechie. Breece Hall, way out front of that. How's he going to play? Is he the guy that you want, or do you let him go, add him to the comp pick formula crew? Hopefully something happened. We're going to be signing free agents, so who knows? And you just get a running back in the draft in the 2nd round, in the 4th round, whatever. And you just add him to the Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis stable, and Wangu. Let me know what you think. I'm going to tell you, it's going to be real interesting to see. It's going to be really interesting to see how this goes, everybody. But that's our show. I hope you had a good time. The Jets are tough. Let's see how we do this next 6 weeks. Thanks for hanging out with me. Please hit the like button on your way out. If you haven't subscribed, if you're new here, it'd be greatly appreciated if you join up. Subscribe to the channel, and don't forget about our great sponsor, the one and only Sleeper app. Link in the description. Take advantage with the promo code GreenBean and turn game day into payday. With that all said, have a great rest of the week, and as always, go Jets.